All right, ladies, welcome in. Welcome in. I know we're starting a little bit later today. So first of all, let me just kind of apologize for that. I was doing some testing and it didn't work. So it's all well and good. I'm here now. But how is everybody doing today? Just making sure you guys can see me and hear me well. Okay. So welcome in, who's joining me live today. I'm so excited. I missed you guys, and I do have a very, very interesting topic to cover today. Okay, so this is something that has consistently plagued women, not just women in corporate, but in general. Many women are struggling with this. And oftentimes when I'm chatting with women and I'm talking with them on a daily basis, this is something that they just feel it, but they don't know how they started feeling this way. I used to suffer from this as well. And occasionally, when I go through certain things that are new in my life, when I go through new experiences, this problem comes in as well. So I'm going to talk about all of the details. And then I'm also going to be sharing how you can start today to be able to start feeling less guilty about you prioritizing yourself. Okay, so if you're just joining me, welcome in, welcome in. If this is the first time that you're attending a live training of mine, you're seeing a video of mine, or reels, whatever posts, okay? Welcome. My name is AB and I am a life coach. Okay, so I help professional women who are feeling overwhelmed, burned out, stressed out. I help them have a balanced life. And if this sounds like you can reach out to me at any time via Facebook or any of my social media channels. Okay, so one of the topic that we're going to be talking about today is how, first of all, why. Let's talk a little bit about the why. Why is it that a lot of women in corporate, business women, whatever, okay, but I'm focusing on women in corporate. Why is it that we feel guilty when we start to prioritize ourselves, when we even think about prioritizing ourselves? Let's not even go that far. We start to have feelings of guilt and pressure and just all of these negative emotions that come up for us when we think about prioritizing ourselves. And if we do eventually get to a point where we take the action to do so, it feels like some sort of a burden on us. It feels like we're doing something wrong. It feels like, how dare we? How dare we? The audacity to take the time and attention to pour into us. Just saying it, I'm sure some of you who are watching, you're probably wondering, yeah, that doesn't really make, why do we feel that way, Abby? Because that doesn't really make any sense, right? And you're correct. You're correct. But the reality is a lot of women do feel this way. I felt it. And I just told you guys, in some situations that are new, it comes up. So what's going on there? What's going on there? Because it makes no sense for you to feel really good about pouring into others, doing for others, bending your back, breaking your back, going over backward for others. And then when it comes to you, now, oh, how dare you? The audacity. Even to a point where, because this is something that I used to struggle with, and I see women struggling with, even to a point where you've overgiven, where you're now so tired that at that point, I mean, the human mind goes, well, I've earned it. That shouldn't be so, by the way. We're going to talk about that. But the logical thing is, okay, I've done for others. Now it's time to do it for myself. But even when women are so tired to do for themselves, they still feel that guilt. So ladies, we're going to address that today. We're going to address that because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But I'm going to clarify to you why we operate that way. Okay? So one of the very first reasons this happened to me, I see this happening with my clients. I see this happening with women that I talk with on a daily basis. one of the reasons why we struggle with feeling guilty when it comes to prioritizing ourselves is because we were raised in an environment where a woman was, the good woman, the hardworking mom, the best woman. That kind of woman was represented as somebody who puts aside her needs and for the sake of others. Okay, so this is someone, the hero, the one that people are like, oh my gosh, she breaks her back for others, that makes her a good woman. Many of us were raised in environments like that. When I just think about it, and I just think about what my mom, my grandmom, and even some of our parents, what they went through, it just makes me feel so cold, because I'm just like, are you kidding me? I'm sorry. What is the glory? Why is there glory being praised and being put on somebody that is running herself to the ground? We just celebrated Mother's Day, ladies, in North America, and I think we still have 1 or 2 left. And I was going through the posts that women were putting on their profiles and what they were talking about motherhood. And this should be something that we're proud of. This should be something that should feel good. But when I was reading those posts, I'll be honest, I was cringing a little bit. Do you know this? Do you know why? Because the posts were about so much suffering. I so suffered. Wait, good for us mothers, because we're suffering so much. We're suffering so much, so let's have this day to feel better about ourselves. There are 3, right? There are 3. There's the one in North America, there's another one, and there's another one. So you're telling me that out of 365 days in a year, only 3 days are enough to celebrate you? Like, are you kidding? Like, that math isn't mathing. And I was just going through the post and I'm like, what is going on here? Is it just me? I'm like, right? Oh, most of the posts were about how so much labor, so much dreary, it's hard. And I'm not even, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's not the reality. But I'm just like, no. Like, are you telling me that you have this beautiful life so you can suffer? And when I saw that, it just made me remember this whole thing, because I was brought up like that, to essentially, when I get to a certain stage, now AB, put aside what you want and accommodate others, because that's what it takes to be a good woman. That's what it takes to be a good wife. That's what it takes to be a good mother. Is, well, what does everybody need? Do you have what you need? Okay. And then I go in the kitchen and I'm crying. Or I go to the bedroom and I'm crying my ass out because I'm so tired and fatigued that I don't even know how to breathe, because I'm too tired to breathe, too tired to care. That doesn't agree with me. And in every fiber in my being, as I was going through those posts, ladies, I was just like, this isn't how it should be. Like, I know it's the reality of a lot of you guys, but this isn't how it's supposed to be. This is not. Let's not be celebrating suffering and pain. It's okay to go through moments where you have an experience, you learn from it, you grow, but you don't stay there. Because each and every one of you has a purpose in that. How are you supposed to step into your purpose if you are suffering and you're doing so much labor that you can't even breathe? So if you look at the bigger picture, it's very sad. It's very sad. So I know I went a little bit of a tangent here, but that was something that I just like, no, AB, this has got to stop. This has got to stop. And the reason why all of this is because, again, if you were raised in an environment where you were given a badge of honor each time you suffered and labored and put aside your needs and never voiced or expressed how you truly felt or did something for you, you will feel guilty when you think about prioritizing yourself. You will feel guilty because that's all you know. Because when you try to do something for you, your mind is going to remind you that, but this kind of woman isn't praised. This kind of woman isn't viewed as a good woman. So if we step out of sight of that identity, that means that we're operating in a way that has been viewed as selfish and self-centered. Yeah, and although this is a family life, we take it into the corporate world and do the same thing. And so the way this shows up for us in the corporate world is we'll take on more on our plates, and we think that we're being the best employee by doing that. We think that, we're gonna get a badge of honor if we pile up work for ourselves, and if we become the go-to where everybody's poking and asking from us, and we're overgiving. We think that that's gonna make them view us as that perfect woman, that woman that should be celebrated and whatnot. The reality is nobody's coming to celebrate you. I'll just be clear. I did that. Nobody celebrated me. Nobody. And nobody's gonna celebrate you. They might say, yeah, she's the go-to person. Yeah, they might say that. It might make you feel good for about 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a long way, but it might make you feel good for about 5 minutes. But deep down in your mind, when you go back home and you cannot even make dinner for yourself, or you're so fatigued that you cannot go out and do the things that you want, you can't go to the gym, the sadness that comes with that, or when you go back home and you then have your second job, which is of course caring for your family and whatnot, and then you're going to bed at 11, 12, and you just feel like there's no space for you, the sadness that comes from that is something that it's indescribable. And many of you are experiencing that. I experienced it. I couldn't voice it because where do you start? Where do you start? Okay, so for those of you who are just joining, we're talking about why women feel guilty when they try to prioritize themselves and how to overcome this. All right, the second reason that, again, I struggle with this and a lot of women continue to struggle with this is because, again, we were raised, this is how we've always been raised. We don't know any better. Yeah, we've heard about prioritize yourself and whatnot, but the thing is that many women have told me they don't even know what that means for them. So we don't know what we want, and we don't know any better. So what happens is that when somebody says, hey, why don't you take some time for yourself? It almost feels weird to you. You're like, what am I going to do? And then what usually happens is that we go and start cleaning the house. We go to look for more work to do just to fill that space because we don't know what we want. We don't know any better. And we're just operating in a way that we've always known. We've always known. And so if this is you, this is even harder to break because in the first reason, at least there's some level of awareness that, my mom raised me this way, even though I don't necessarily like it. In the second reason, you actually think it's normal. You actually think there's no other way. Like you believe that that's all that there is to it in being a woman. And because you don't know what you want, even if somebody hands you on a platter and says, go take 2 hours for yourself, you're going to feel guilty because you're going to look at those 2 hours and say, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know. What am I supposed to do with it? I cannot sit still because I don't know me. I don't know. Like, I know for me, when I was going through my own transformation, and I took a break from work, and I had time to myself, I couldn't, I couldn't sit still, let's be clear. I start to feel anxious and have so much anxiety just from having free time to me. And part of that reason was because I didn't want to deal with the things that were coming up for me. I didn't want to deal with the issues that were causing me to be in that state in the first place. That's one of the reasons. But another reason too was I didn't know what am I supposed to do now that I have time. And then when I would see other people struggling, and now I'm no longer struggling like that, it would even double the cute, because I would be like, why should I get to have all of this and other people don't? Which takes me to my third reason. I'm moving too fast. But all of this in combination with the emotions that I've experienced and many women experience on a daily basis. So the question that I ask is, why would you prioritize yourself when, number one, the good, perfect woman is the one that does not prioritize herself? The good, perfect woman that everybody wants to be around is the one that bends over backwards, is the one that is 100% selfless. Number two is, if you always think that that's the reality, like there's no other way out, there's no other way. I can't count the number of times women have told me, what is the alternative? What is the alternative? Because their reality is, this is what I'm going through. I have no time for me. My friends don't have time for themselves. My sisters, all the women around me barely have time for myself. So what is the other alternative? I'm sorry, baby, what's the alternative? So look, again, I'm going to repeat this. If those two things are playing at the back of your mind, why won't you struggle with prioritizing yourself? You will. You will struggle, because that's all you've ever known. Another third reason. This one is very dear to my heart, because, it doesn't come from a bad place. It's just that it's been abused, or it's been used beyond what it's supposed to be used for. Okay, so I talked about the first reason. I talked about women being brought up in a way where they should put aside their needs and whatnot. This third reason is because all of us, if you're a woman or you identify as a woman, all of us have a part in us. It's called the nurturing side. This is the side that, when we see a representation of women in ads, we see children, running around her, and there's this connotation of what a woman is supposed to be, and she's supposed to be so nurturing, and this is the energy that most women have from birth, because we learn this from our moms and the women around us. We don't know other flavors of our feminine energy. We just know the nurturing part, which is to take care of others. And so part of having this side of you, part of having this energy in you, if you're a woman or you identify as one, is that there is, I would say, an inward pull to always make sure that everyone is okay. There is this pull to always make sure that wherever you are, it's cared for, it's nurtured and whatnot. There is this inward pull to make sure that you are improving the things around you. That's part of the feminine side. That's part of being a woman. Okay? Now the problem and why I'm so passionate about women balancing their energy is because when this part of you is out of balance, the impact, the effect of that is neglect, is guilt, is control, is disappointment, resentment, bitterness, anger, and whatnot. But we're going to talk about the guilt today. Other videos, I'll talk about the other reasons. And so let me give you an example. If you know that you have this need to help people and just be that good woman and whatnot, when you are doing something that is not for others, that part of you is going to feel like, well, we should use this time for other people though. You know, we should make sure that everybody's okay, everybody's all taken care of and whatnot. We should do that. We should do that. And how you know this energy is out of balance in you is that when you are overdoing and overgiving and making sure that everybody's okay, the normal, when you are in balance, the normal feeling that you will get is when you start feeling drained, okay? The normal reaction is, okay, let's pull back a little bit with no guilt. But when you are out of balance with your nurturing energy, you're going to start feeling guilty because it's you, the action of you prioritizing yourself, it's opposite to the expectation of what you're supposed to use your nurturing energy for. And so if, for example, you grew up with people that said a woman is supposed to take care of, you know, the family, take care of everything and whatnot, and you now start hearing, take care of you, you're going to start feeling like you're not a good enough woman because it's opposite to that. And how this is different from the first reason about your upbringing is that in the first reason, with the upbringing, you have a certain awareness that this is not how it's supposed to be. It's just that you've been brought up that way. In this third reason, you believe it in your heart that that's what you're supposed to be like. And you don't know that your energy, when it's out of balance, is going to work against you. And so what tends to happen, even though work is not your kids, is that women carry this nurturing energy into other relationships where it is not appropriate. An example, work. What are you nurturing at work? Your colleagues. Your colleagues are not children. Your manager is not your child. Your VP is not a child. Why are you carrying your nurturing energy there? It's not appropriate. There are situations where you may call to do that, but let me give an example where we start to use this energy that causes us to feel guilt. One primary one that I remember is when you're in a team and you're doing all the work and the other people are not doing all of the work. And then when you stop doing all the work, you start to feel guilty. Because a part of you tells you that you need to carry others, you need to take care of them. I hope you guys are getting this. I need to take care of my colleagues, I need to take care of my coworkers. I need to pick up the slack. Because that's part of my nurturing energy. That's also part of what a woman's supposed to do. This is a part of the societal expectation. And the reason why you're going to struggle with stopping this is because it's you. It's all you know. It's what you believe. It's what you believe. And so in that situation, this is how you know that you are overusing your nurturing energy, is that you're bringing it into dynamics, into inappropriate relationship where it's not needed. Your nurturing energy is for you and for your kids, of course. And in certain circumstances, you can bring it out when you're beautifying your house. It's part of that. When you are, talking with somebody who's going through something and you're comforting them, that's part of that. But when you're at work, in the corporate world, your colleague is not your child or a child. Your manager is not your child or a child. And so when you step into your power and you learn how to turn that off and turn on the appropriate energy, which is, I call that the intellectual queen. But this is where you have and understand what you're there to do. You have the boundary set. And so if somebody is not doing their part, you are perfectly okay to step back, do your part, and get out of there. You don't feel guilty about anything. There's nothing to feel guilty about. Nobody's dying. Nobody's suffering. Nobody's sick. Even if they are sick, you can help, but not to your detriment. That's the key, ladies. Anytime you're doing something to your detriment, you're out of balance. You're out of balance. And so this third one, because the reason why I'm taking time to explain this is sometimes when you guys see videos where you have women talking about learn to be selfish, sometimes some people might feel like, yeah, let's be selfish. But if you don't understand the way a woman operates and how our energies come into play, you're just gonna go back home. You're gonna get triggered to using your nurturing energy inappropriately. And for those of you, for example, who are married, what you're gonna notice, I hear this a lot. My partner is my 4th child, 5th child, 6th child. That's a problem. It's not normal. That's not normal. That's an example of your nurturing energy that is out of balance. Because it's not for an adult unless the situation calls for it. It's not appropriate. It's not it. And because it's so, oh my gosh, I heard somebody describe how a woman's nurturing energy is, and I was just like, wow, so that's what it feels like? Okay, now I need to learn how to care better for myself. Because if you're getting so much from me, no wonder I'm feeling drained. No wonder. And so when we look at these reasons, the first one that I talked about is your upbringing and the expectation that you're supposed to put aside your need. The second one is that that's all you've ever known. The people around you always feel guilty when they prioritize themselves. So who are you going to look at as an example that is actually thriving in this life as a woman, as a professional woman, as a working woman who also has a family? The third reason is when a part of you that I love nature. The nature gave us to nurture Earth, to nurture the planet, to be those beautiful beings, bring life into this world and whatnot. When you have that working against you because you're overusing it and you're using it in inappropriate situations, you will feel guilty. Because the mechanisms that are supposed to stop you, the way that the brain and the mind operates, they're turned off in each of those circumstances that I talked about. The part of the brain that is responsible for logic that goes, okay, AB, you have been doing a lot for this person. Time to pull back. That part is turned off when you are behaving or when you have that thought about, or perspective, better word, about what a woman is supposed to do and how a woman is supposed to function. Okay, but here it comes, AB, because going through the process, first of all, there's light at the end of the tunnel. First things first, there's a light. There's always hope. I want you guys to always take that from my trainings. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's always hope. Second thing, you are going to have to save yourself, because many women think my reward is coming soon. What reward? Sickness? Death? Yeah, because I've seen people die from it. I went through it and I almost died, so I can talk about it. Is that a reward? No. So the reward that you think is coming, I'm sorry, it's not. Unless you're talking about sickness, ill health, bitterness, anger, frustration, sadness, just depression, I can call it on. If that's the reward you're looking for, then yes, that's coming. But the actual reward, when you think people are going to finally clap for you and say, yes, she's earned her woman card. Now we can celebrate her. Now she's the best woman. It's not coming. People are too busy with their lives anyway to even care. They have their own issue. It's not coming. So you are going to have to decide to get yourself out of the state and fix it. Okay? So one of the very first things that you can start doing today is this is really a shift in your mindset. This is going to require what I call inner work, because if you have operated this way for so long, there is a lot of things that you believe to be true and whatnot that you're going to have to dismantle and throw away. I will give you guys an example. For me, one of the things that I always taught was, put aside, when I put aside my needs, when I do everything for everyone, when I give everyone everything, then one day I'm gonna wake up in the morning and I'm gonna have all the things that I've always dreamed of. It's just gonna get handed to me because it's good karma that I'm creating. And the reality is that you're supposed to love yourself, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So you need to love yourself first, not loving your neighbor more than yourself. And that's why the reward that I talked about, it's not coming. Because first of all, you're not even doing it from a place of goodwill. I know you think you are, but you're not. So what I had to do in my case, I had to change what I thought was selfless and selfish. And so there's this thing that I tell myself, I don't want to be blocking another woman's blessing. How? If I don't prioritize myself, how am I supposed to be here for you guys to be able to share this message? Or if I don't prioritize myself, if I don't take care of myself, and I come here and I'm like this, yes, ladies, and whatnot, tell me how many of you are going to listen. Or if I come here and I'm like, there's so much suffering, women are always suffering, and I don't give you any solutions because I haven't figured it out myself, how is that going to help you? You see what I mean? So now when I get into a state where I'm like, there's more coming out of me, and then that part that is tempted to say, feel guilty, I shut her up. And I say, wait a minute, it's completely selfish of me to allow myself give so much and not receive. It's very selfish. It's extremely selfish, AB, because you have a bigger purpose. Who are you helping when you're on your couch? Nobody. So get up. And that's how things started to change for me. Slowly changing some of those things that they tell us what a woman is supposed to look like. Because when I changed that, it's a lot easier to take the action when the situation calls for it. Okay? So one of the very first things that you can start doing today is getting an understanding and clarity into what are some of the things that I believe and know to be true about womanhood, being a working class woman, being a working class mom, being a working class wife. What are the things that I know to be true? And then the next level is understanding, is each and every one of them serving me? Yes, I need to take care of my kids. Yes, I need to take care of my husband. Yes, I need to put in 110. No, you don't actually have to put in 110% every day. But yes, I need to be the best employee that I can be. However, I cannot do any of that when I am so overwhelmed and burned out. I cannot do that. And even if I think I'm doing that, like, has anybody received something from someone that you know is in need? Like, just take an example. You're walking on the street, you have this, this homeless person who's sitting and begging for alms, like they're asking people to give them something. And then you walk across and they say, oh, hey, here's $1. What are you gonna do? You're probably gonna look at them and say, no, use that for you, that's okay. Why'd you do that? Because a part of you feels like you need it more than me, and it doesn't feel good to me to take from you when you don't look like you've been on your own 2 feet. That is the same way people feel around us when we're overgiving to them. Sometimes they can't even say no because you're just in a mode of take, give. And so when we blame others and say, or when we say, we're overgiving to work, we're overgiving to our kids and our husband and whatnot, the truth and the reality is when they're receiving from you, when you're overwhelmed, it actually doesn't feel very good, but they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you. They don't even know how to voice that. They're just going to take the thing, but they're like, there's going to be some sort of cringe in their energy. And I can talk about this because I've experienced it. They're going to tell you. So when we think we're doing goodwill, we're not even doing good to anybody. We're not. And the people that actually feel good about taking from you when you're so drained, they have what we call predatory energy turned on. So something in that dynamics has turned that on. They are not even seeing you as a person. You are an object. And so they will treat you the way they treat a bottle of water. You keep drinking on it until it's empty and you throw it away. So the second thing that you're going to have to do after recognizing what you understand a woman, a working class mom, wife, daughter, whatever is supposed to be, is understanding, is it serving me? The answer that a lot of you have said is just not. So the next thing is, what do I want to do to fix it? What can you do to fix it? But at least when you get to the third step, you have some level of clarity to know that this isn't working. It's not working for me. And now I have to take the third step. And the third step is really where mindset work comes in, because you're going to have to fix your mind to be able to fix this the long-term way. You can do short-term things like go to the beach, go on vacation, spend years in therapy. But if you don't also work on your mind, that's what controls your behavior. That's what controls the way you do things. That's what determines why you're here watching this live training and why you're not in Starbucks sitting somewhere. So you need to fix that aspect of your mind. And that's where I help. I do mindset work all day. It's my specialty. Okay? So part of mindset work is understanding your belief system. The things that the steps that I gave you, that's actually how the process works. It's understanding what is there. What do I currently believe to be true? And what of those beliefs is not working for me? When you get to the beliefs that are not working for you, the next step is you're going to replace them with what you actually want. What do you want? Okay? And part of the process that I take my clients through is, because you've operated in a place where you've given so much, you don't even know how to tap into you to know what you want. And so what we'll do is reset you back to balance so that you can start tapping into what you want. Because at that state, you're so overwhelmed, you cannot even know what you want. All you know is do for this, do for that person, do for that. Okay, so you're going to have to get you to a state where there's balance. Put in, and then you give out. Nurture me, then I nurture others. Do for me, then I do for others. Because when you're in that state, you're no longer in the state of fight or flight. You're no longer in stress. You're no longer in overwhelm. Overwhelm is just a symptom of you being stressed. It's a symptom of what's going on in your body that's causing it to feel stress. So when we get rid of all of that, then you'll be in a stable state where you can actually be in peace and calm. And when you're in peace and calm, you can then listen to you and say, oh, I actually want to do this today. Okay, I actually don't want to do this tomorrow. And that's how you take your power back. That's how you become a powerful woman. That's how you have the courage to enforce your boundaries. Because you're no longer operating from, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overwhelmed. Now you are peace, calm, stillness. And so when something comes in your field that you don't like, you can feel that. Like, no, I don't like that. That didn't feel very good. No, I don't want that. Okay, I want this. I want that. And what you will start to notice is, first of all, you're going to have peace and calm. But you will start to notice is that you're going to be making better decisions for your life. You're not going to have to call this, call that to make decisions for you. You will be able to make a decision for yourself and know that it's going to be good for you. You become that powerful woman. You become that woman that people are saying, woman is powerful. You become her, literally. And then the next step after that is when you become that powerful woman, now you want to help other women to do the same. See the trajectory. But that's how all of this works. That's how all of this works. Okay, that's all I have for you, ladies. Is any questions for me before I sign up? I have an announcement to make, or two. So the first announcement is I am planning a masterclass, an embodiment masterclass. What is an embodiment masterclass? This is a masterclass where I do this for my premium clients. Is we will workshop, so some of the things that I taught you guys today about the mindset and whatnot, we will do it in that masterclass so that you can leave there feeling transformed. Like literally, it's a transformation live with me. Okay, so I'm planning that. I was planning to do it for my premium clients, but I'm getting the prompt to open an invitation to you guys in this group. The plan is to do it by the end of June. So who is this for? You are in a state where you're feeling overwhelmed, tired, just lost, and you want to get yourself back. So we're going to do the exercise on those masterclass, in that masterclass. And this is something, again, this is for my premium clients. They're going to be there, but I'm getting the prompts to extend it to some of you guys in the group. So watch out for that announcement, because that masterclass, that embodiment masterclass, is going to go back into my paid programs. Okay, so this is calling out to you. Once I put out the information, make sure you sign up for that, because I cannot have everybody on that call. There's certain kinds of energy that I need to have on that call, and if anything is outside that, I cannot be the woman that is going to teach you how to embody something. So if you're coming into my space, you need to be a certain criteria. All right, so I'm going to put out the information once I have everything ready, and if that calls out to you, but make sure that you're the kind of person that is ready to take that action. You are ready to be coachable, because I am going to actually do it live in that masterclass. And that's why I require certain kinds of energies around me. Okay, so if that calls to you, then when I pull up the post, make sure you sign up for that, because I cannot take everybody. The second announcement is I will be opening one. I will be opening one more spot to you guys within this group. So if you are looking for some help with improving the balance in your life, and you're lost and you don't know where to start, this is my specialty, and this is what I do every day. Okay, so reach out to me and let's talk. But other than that, if there are no questions, ladies, it's always a pleasure seeing you. I will see you next week. Okay, bye.